Good morning, I am John. Today is Tuesday, January 10th, 2023. It is time for my daily vlog and stand-up of how I'm doing and progressing toward trying to make content creation my full-time gig. Thank you for stopping in. Let's go ahead and get started right quick with an update of what happened yesterday. Yesterday, not only did I publish a short, which was one of those, we talked about shorts being scratch-off tickets. This one kind of flopped. It was, no matching numbers a little bit, but that's okay because those shorts will be reutilized over and over and over on other social media platforms and reels on Facebook and that kind of thing. And it was one of those recycled shorts, so it wasn't like I created new content and lost it. I said, hey, let's take another dip of this and give it a shot. And it just didn't take off. It actually picked up a little bit later in the day, so it wasn't even like a flop. It just wasn't one of those, amazing, thousands of views kind of things. But that's fine. I also completed a long-form video. We talked about the video that I released last Thursday that I was kind of nervous about how it would do, and it did amazingly well. And so I went and followed up, and I did a follow-up on that. That was on Friday, and then yesterday, Monday, I did what is really the last follow-up I can do in this batch of videos. So effectively, we had this great big video, and so whenever you get a chance, you take another couple bites at that topic if you can. And this third bite, effectively, of this topic, since it released, also did quite well. I think it was ranked number 3 in my last 10 videos, and it's got 1,000 views already in under 24 hours, so I'm happy with that. It's doing quite well. At the moment now, it's kind of like that topic is a little bit, there's a bow on it. Unless some new development comes along, I've got to move on. I've got to put a pin in this until these products that I talked about in the rumor mill start to actually be released. And that's going to be, some of them not for, a few weeks or even months. So while I'll look for other opportunities to do stories like that one that did so well, I've got to go back to the bread and butter, the stuff that I know already the audience we have enjoys. And so I got to start picking new videos to do while I'm waiting for the next scoop to come along. That's not today, though. Today, before we get to today, I have to say, you remember at the end of 2022, we're having this little campaign to reach 18,000 subscribers, and we hit it like 4 days before the end of the year. This is now, what did I say, the 10th, the 9th, the 10th. So it's been exactly 2 weeks since we hit 18,000 subscribers, and in just those 2 weeks, we're up to 18,500 subscribers. Plus, not just at 500, we hit it sometime yesterday, and we're halfway to 600 now. I think I'll put it up on the screen. You can see where we are exactly as I record this. But that's due in large part, maybe entirely in part, to the story that we did that blew up on Thursday. That we've continued to work on, and that one itself continues to do well, and the follow-ups too. So, good progress, good numbers. I expect to see a little downturn here as that big ramp up over the last weekend went so well as we get back to normal stuff and looking for new kind of things that can pop. So today is podcast editing day on Twitch. Yes, I really look forward to these days. We usually have between 5 and a dozen people come and hang out as we live edit the podcast, and we cut up in the Twitch chat. And plus, it's super productive because editing the podcast used to take me so many days, and now we get it done like in 2 hours. And it accelerates my week because I'm not kind of dribbling and drabbling in getting that show edited. It's bang, it's all edited in this one session, and everybody keeps me motivated as it's like having company, getting the work done. It's really nice. If you haven't tried it, pop in. And you can just listen in the background. You don't have to necessarily chat. You can just be a lurker. But do at least say hi. Let us know that you're there. It's great fun. That'll take up the majority of the first half of my day between getting ramped up for that, editing. Even after I finish the Twitch stream, there's a couple little housekeeping things to do that will take me well into kind of lunchtime. And then in the afternoon, I will start working on. Since I'm in the podcast mode and it's fresh in my mind, I will take the podcast video, and in the afternoon I'll work on chopping that up into short videos that I can start publishing through the end of this week after the podcast releases, as both a source of content and also as a advertising method and driver of people to listen to the show that we're actually creating. So this little system seems like a little steam engine that's really working pretty well. Getting that done. And I've already passed on the full frame video to Mo, and he's going to be working on a couple, And he's going to be working on a couple of the longer form chunks where we take out segments of the show for video. Yeah, and the last thing for the day is pretty much going to be I will start preparing and planning for what the next long form video will be going into Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, I think that just about covers it. I'll mention before I leave today that's it's quite interesting that we talked about before that we had that we'd had some people from my old company contacting me about hey, what are you doing? You want to talk about this other position that we have open, kind of thing. And we pretty much written that off because really what they were talking about was a position that I'm not qualified for. They're just drawing for straws, I think. But I had another former colleague reach out to me on LinkedIn just over the weekend, and it's and I don't mind if anybody at my company sees this. I'm just really just talking about my emotions, which is, there's a flattering element to somebody saying, hey, we let you go, but maybe we made a mistake. That's nice. But there's something emotionally about me that's somehow I've already, that's all baggage that I've kind of, I've left on the curb. Like everything about my old company, because they pushed me out the door, I didn't have any remaining emotional ties to the company itself because it effectively discarded me. And so my defense mechanism for that was that's fine, I'm going to firewall off everything I know and feel about this company and put it on the curb, right? And just even the prospect of, hey, would you be interested in contracting with us or, coming on a temporary basis or something like that, as much as flattering as that is, and I haven't ruled it out, there's something emotionally that feels like I'm going to dig in the trash and get, like, it sounds really harsh, but it's the only analogy I can think of. It's this feeling that's information and a life that I've intentionally put out of my mind and left behind, and I've considered it behind me. And to then go and unpack that, and it's not like I've forgotten. I could literally step into my old job and resume what I was doing today, of course, because I haven't forgotten everything that I know, but mentally and emotionally, I have compartmentalized and discarded that information, so I don't think about it anymore. And there's something that's, I don't know, it's between distasteful and frightening and unnerving. Just the prospect of unpacking that stuff that we left on the curb and digging into it again. It's none of this, it's not like I have any big revelation that something's changed or I've made a decision or anybody's offered me anything at all. Really, it's just talking with people about, we might need this, would you be interested in the future, kind of thing, has got me thinking about how I feel about that, and I would almost rather, if I needed to pick up something part-time, to go to something totally fresh and new that doesn't have that baggage, because that baggage brings with it baggage, whereas something new doesn't. It's a really weird situation, and I share it with you because this is where I kind of debrief and share my feelings. And I honestly go back and I rewatch these vlogs periodically because I remember, hey, what was my mindset in early December? And I'll go and look and I'll go, oh wow, that's I feel the same, or that's changed. And so, I use these to share with you and get your input, but also to document for me. And yeah, I've just never been in this situation at all before, because as I said back in the beginning of this vlog, I've, not this episode, but I mean, beginning of, when I got laid off, I've never not had a job. I've never been fired. I've never been laid off. I've only quit a job 3 times in my life, and that was just because I had to go to the next job, and it's, and to be in this situation is very, I wouldn't call it new and cool or different. It's new and different for sure. It's it's just new for me. I know I'm not the first in the world that's experienced this, but it's a first for me, and it's an odd sequence of events to be going on, and to be having a totally different direction I'm going in now, and have something back there kind of tugging at my coattail, going, wait a minute, what about this? And I'm like, I thought you were gone. It's weird. Anyway, just sharing with you any more developments on anything. I like to share it here with you guys. So it's time for me to get to work. I've got to do podcast editing over on Twitch shortly after this releases, 10 a.m. Eastern. Maybe you'll join us there. Thank you so much if you popped in for today's vlog. If you're one of those who watch every day religiously, I love you. Thank you for that. You mean so much to me. Please take care of yourself and do something great for yourself today, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.